Hello everybody, it's me, Marnik90. Alright, as I promised, this video is a follow-up to my Fate Stay Night servants versus Fate Zero servants. This time done with the masters. Go check out that first video if you wanna see some good stuff. In short, my idea was to see which of the two Fate series has the stronger mages. Rules are the same as last time. Corresponding masters will face each other in one-on-one duels. Masters of Saber will fight each other and masters of Archer will fight each other, and so on. The masters will not receive any outside help from their servants or other personnel. Everyone will be in peak condition and appear as they did in their respective shows. As for who is participating,
we'll use the standard getup, and if you're wondering what the hell that means, no extra masters like Airi, Solawi or f***ing Shinji will be used here, so I might bring them up for the actual fights if need be. As for Stay Night team, Dark Sakura will be disqualified, cause obvious reasons.
Also, don't let the thumbnail fool you. Atrum Gallista or whoever the f*** that blonde dude was will not appear as Caster's master, but will use Kuzuki instead. All the characters will be in character, but are trying to take each other out. That being said, let's see if the badass killers of Zero can take down the amateur mages and school kids of original Fate Stay Night.
The matchups between mages are a little more difficult than the servant-on-servant battles, mainly due to masters fighting other masters or having concrete scaling to each other tends to happen a lot less, so their abilities aren't always at full display. That being said, our first fight between Masters of Saber has a straightforward answer in my opinion. In the Fate Stay Night corner, we have Emiya Shirou, the OG, Mr. Hero of Justice and easily the best Fate protagonist of all time, fight me. And on the Fate Zero corner, we have the cold-blooded mage killer, Kiritsugu Emiya. Let's talk about Kiritsugu first. Average Magus my ass, he's a deadly son of a bitch. Not only does Kiritsugu possess physicals to be able to react to movements of targets as fast as servants, but he can further amp his movement speed by altering his personal time to evade enemy attacks or put himself in favorable positions to fire all sorts of weaponry, or the origin bullet, which totally fucks up its target's magic circuits and rearranges them, basically crippling his foes for life. These are actually the exact tools Kiritsugu needs in the Battle of Emiya's to completely counter Shirou. Sure, he can use structural analysis to figure out how Kiritsugu's weapons work, and he can even keep up with him to a degree, maybe even copy his origin bullets, Project Caliburn and stuff, but Kiritsugu would just answer with Time Axle, avoid anything Shirou is starting up, and end with OG bullet to the face. And I don't think Shirou having Avalon inside of him is a factor.
And I don't even know if Avalon can recognize your magic circuits rearranging as damage
and heal that shit.
And without Saber, neither would have access to it anyway.
So, can Shirou deal with the origin bullet? Assuming that he can even somehow block it with one of his projected weapons, it would just feed back to his magic circuits that he'd be actively using for projections and f*** him up regardless. So it's basically one hit kill against him. And even if he dodges it, Kiritsugu might be close enough to f*** him up with just bare hand-to-hand skills. I mean, the dude is stated to be able to defeat assassin and weak caster class servants without prep time, feats Fate route Shirou just doesn't have. So, Kiritsugu stomps. But just as we got 3 different sabers in each route, we have 3 different Shirous to talk about. Heaven's Feel Shirou is much more powerful, having Archer's arm implanted onto him. It grants him some of his knowledge, experience, stats, and abilities, though using it will royally f*** him up in the long run, though he is shown to be able to manage to fight with it for periods of time, in which Archer's reality marble invades his body, piercing and replacing it with swords, turning him into the world's strangest pincushion. He also has portions of Rin's magic crest, making him overall more powerful. Some of you are probably concluding,
"Ha! Shirou in his sword form was able to stalemate against the rustic Tokiomi Kirei in a fight, while Kiritsugu would kill that tofu-wanking mofo in his prime. Kiritsugu blitzfucks."
But allow me to propose a counter to that. Heaven's Feel Shirou is able to kill 1 fucking life out of Blackened Berserker by projecting his 9 lives. Admittedly, Illya was distracting Herc, who was already heavily gimped by being blinded and wounded, etc. But here's the thing, blackening is stated to typically make servants even stronger. That same Shirou, continuously weakening by the way, manages to somehow defeat Saber Alter alone in one of the bad endings, with the coast of his mind and body being destroyed. So, about how Prime Kirei and Kiritsugu can readily defeat weak-ass servants like average assassins and weak casters. Berserker and Saber Alter are neither of those things. In fact, they are among the strongest servants of their class. Sorry, but Kiritsugu has no chance here. And no, he's not gonna blitz Shirou before he activates Archer's arm. Archer's stats are passively flowing into him, even when it's covered, so he's not getting blitzed by a guy who can't take on servants on that level. The Shirou from the end of that route that goes hand to hand with Kodomine is literally 1 foot away from grave, and might lose to Kiritsugu if he plays his cards right. But even then, Shirou didn't even use any of his projections on Kirei, which he could have, as he projects Excalibur in one of the bad endings right after. Even if Kiritsugu uses some of his dirty tactics, like hiding in smoke, time accelerating into position and sniping with origin bullet, it would never work out for him, as he was put to defensive by much lesser foes like Kayneth and Kirei, both who don't scale to top servants like Herc or Saber Alter. So there, last Emiya battle will settle which Emiya is the superior one. That is Kiritsugu versus Unlimited Blade Work Shirou, and is really bad. Dude, I love Kiritsugu and all, but this matchup is actually the worst one. This Shirou becoming directly comparable to Archer's parameters via their connection, even to the point he can use unlimited blade works when equipped with Rin's full magic crest. Not only does this Shirou defeat Archer in a fight, negging his mind's eye with some outside interference, but he also fucking battles Gilgamesh, the strongest heroic spirit, with his UBY, countering his Gate of Babylon perfectly. Granted, as I mentioned, everything in that fight was to Shirou's advantage. Gil's arrogance, his NP being direct counter to him, Archer saving him with Ruayas, Gil's refusal to use AI at the end, and still he kinda would have lost that battle. But that same non-serious Gilgamesh, utilizing just his basic weapons, killed Medea, killed Kuzuki, killed Kojiro, killed Lancer, killed Heracles, and took down heavily weakened Artoria with ease. So Shirou sort of scales those feats. It's honestly pretty funny to think about how this version of Shirou might, honest to god, actually be able to take on Huhula in 1v1. Yeah, it's true, he states he wouldn't be able to beat servants who have mastered their weapons, but that is more in reference to using same weapon against them. And this Shirou should actually just be less gimped version of Heaven's Feel Shirou, as he doesn't have those dang swords killing him. So all in all, Kiritsugu beats Fate Shirou, but UBY and Heaven's Feel body him in most scenarios, giving our first victory to Stay Night Masters. Sorry. For the battle between Masters of Lancers, we'll be using Bazett from Holo Ataraxia for Stay Night team instead of Kirei, as she is Lancer's actual master. Don't worry, Kirei will get his time to shine in the assassin battle.
Oh shit, that's gonna be a problem.
And for Zero team, we have Lord Kayneth Elmeloy, the most OP craft essence of all time. The outcome is pretty straightforward. Bazett is a beast, not only known for her impressive hand-to-hand power, enhanced by Rune Magecraft, but also has that stupid resurrection spell and noble phantasm gifted by a god, already making her way OP among masters. Not to say that Kayneth sucks though, he's pretty OP, prodigy among the Mages Association first rates, most noted member of the time of the Fourth War. But that's all about talent and not power necessarily. Still, he is considered biggest powerhouse master of the Fourth War by Kiritsugu, and nearly kills him with his trump card, the shape-changing liquid metal Volumen Hydragumon, which is also a maid, quoting Terminator 2. So, they both have a great talent and powerful trump cards, but it's obvious that Bazett takes this. And no, I'm not talking about the myth of her being able to defeat servants 1v1, that is not true, or how Khaled liner Prisma Illya for some reason decided to treat her as some unbeatable monster, but simply for the reason that her Fragarak is a perfect counter to Kayneth. It's an NP specifically able to counter other people's trump card ultimate full special gauge techniques by twisting laws of causality in the way that it always kills the opponent if fired after they fire their trump card, which in Kayneth's case is Volumen Hydragumon, which he always parades around him. Bazett would easily recognize that fact and strike that shit, which would kill Kayneth. Not to mention how she has scaling to characters superior to Kayneth, such as
Rin and Kirei in raw power at least,
or only losing to Prime Kirei, Kiritsugu's
direct rival,
due to his skill, not power. Stay Night wins. Again. Next we have easy one between Masters of Archers, Tosaka Rin from Stay Night and her dad, Tosaka Tokiomi from Zero. So, Tokiomi is only stated master of one element, while Rin is master of every element, a prodigy and so on, while Tokiomi lacks any hype statements of similar caliber. Like, Rin with her most powerful gems is able to kill Herc once by taking him by surprise, but Tokiomi? I don't know, he defeats Kariya or some shit? Rin has crazy feats like matching Medea's incantation speed with her jewels, spamming Gondor, not to mention the fucking fuck you sort of cell track she has in Heaven's Field route. Yeah, I can't even think any meme arguments for Tokiomi. Daughter has truly surpassed the crappy father. Point goes to Rin. Fate Zero might still have 0 points, but maybe that will change with the Battle of Masters of Rider. After all, Zhuge Liang is 5-star support god capable of fighting Iskandar. This is gonna be great! Oh, wait, it's just Waver. And on Stay Night side, who do we got? Oh. Look, we all love Waver, but the dude will be destroyed here. Like, no. Waver has literally no offensive abilities in Fate Zero, while Sakura has her imaginary elements and Mato-style absorption and other stuff, while Waver can, I don't know, flail his arms a bit. And all this is just considering Sakura's crap magic abilities and not her dark Sakura powers. No, none of that. Waver literally has no chance here, due to being shit combatant. And even if we take Shinji as the master of Stay Night Rider instead, I don't think the outcome would change. Oh, but Shinji has no magecraft talent. Yeah, and Waver can't use offensive magecraft, so Shinji would probably just ruffle him up in a fist fight. I mean, Waver's a nerd, while Shinji has feats of sister beating. Maybe Waver can use that mind-hacking spell he did on that old couple in Zero or whatever. But I don't think he can do that mid-fight. Hard to brew tea leaves while you are getting teeth bashed in by professional shitbag. So it's safe to give this match to Stay Night again, because Sakura is overkill and even Shinji is questionably the victor here. I shall be forever cursed for saying that Shinji won a versus battle. On the caster front, we have Soichiro Kuzuki for Stay Night and Ryunosusuke for Zero, and god damn it, again Stay Night is the clear winner here. Ryunosusuke might be appreciator of art. Cool, great, he can have a debuff skill. Like, sure. He uses knives. Cool. Kuzuki just f***s him up with martial arts and breaks his skull with one strike. It just ends. Ryunosusuke has only his theological skills, and Kuzuki is a professional assassin that can beat mages like Bazett with a surprise attack, and when amped by caster, he can even rough up servants of 3 knight classes. Stay Night wins. Again. So the victor is basically decided, but let's keep going anyway. Who do we have next? Oh yes, Masters of Assassins, which would technically mean Medea, but we'll use Zouken instead for Stay Night, as he is the true master of a true assassin. And Zero side has Kodomine Kirei in his prime, cheat codes activated, and thank finally a match. Zero wins clear cut. Zouken and Kirei already fought in Heaven's Field and, well, Kirei owned that motherfucker. A weaker Kirei than the one we are talking about here. Sure, he used baptism right to exorcise him,
Like if Zouken was Vlad fucking Dracula.
so technically he won via Zouken's kryptonite, but it can be easily argued that he can still beat his ass or is stronger than him by observing the feats. Zouken's level on Mages Association is below Kayneth, who's inferior to Kiritsugu, Kirei's rival, and technically Kirei is actually stronger than Kiritsugu because he would have died without Amalon, so keep that in mind. Also, Zouken is inferior to True Assassin and has him do all his things for him when non-prime Kirei could fight True Assassin till his NP came up, which he only survived thanks to fake card, but still, he fought him. It takes ages for Zouken to kill untrained, weak Shirou with his insects, while Kirei can kill any master from any Grail War, including Rin and Bazett, with one strike, and all these people are superior to fodder form of Shirou. And hey, Zero Kirei even has command spell amps, so he'll be overall very bad match for good old Blank Painter. Of course, Zouken is pretty hard to put down permanently, as his body is made of bloodworms. Sure, Kirei would be hard-pressed to deal with his regen, and apparently Zouken did kill a form of Francesca Prelati at the time of Fate Zero, but I don't know if that's even a feat. Like, she's gotten killed by a lot of people, even though she is supposedly powerful, and also Zouken only won that fight because his bugs are immune to Prelati's illusions, so I don't think we can use that. Anyways, even if Kirei lacks a way to kill Zouken permanently aside from his exorcism, he still can destroy anything Zouken throws at him. I don't know what he's supposed to do about Kirei. I mean, Sure, prime young Zouken some 100 years ago has similar statement of being able to fight servants like Kiritsugu and Kirei have, but we are talking about old Zouken from Stay Night, and thus Kirei from Zero takes this. And now we move on to the final battle. So, Masters of Berserkers. For Stay Night, we have Illya's wheel on Einsburn, and for Zero, Kariya Mato. Again, it's a little stompy on Stay Night's favor, but there's a lot to discuss. There exists this statement that Illya from Stay Night is actually amped by being in Fuyuki, and that's why she was able to overpower Rin in UBY, and without this amp, even likes of Kayneth and Tokiomi could beat her, characters that Kariya isn't that far behind of. I mean, Tokiomi kinda took a big doo-doo on him, but he was confident he could fight him again. I guess that too was just bravado, because it's flat out evident and stated that Kariya is the weakest master of Fourth War, only beating out our boy Saikyonaku. So I guess Illya takes this, even with the statement of her losing to Tokiomi and Kayneth. And I don't really even need to go in depth on her weird familiar abilities and magic circuits. Yeah. Zero just gets stomped by Stay Night Masters in all but one matchup. So much for them being more badass. And that's a wrap. In essence, Zero has slightly stronger servants no thanks to Diarmuid, and Stay Night has unquestionably the stronger masters with better feats. Some of you are probably mad at me for coming to this conclusion, even after seeing why and how I did so, but hey, we can talk about that in the comments. I'm eager to discuss and hear you out. Who knows, maybe you're mad that I only did 1v1 fights, maybe you think Caster Gilles beats Medea, maybe you're mad that I only gave Illya about 1 minute of screen time, but whatever it is, I'm interested to hear you out and discuss your thoughts on the scaling. So, that's it for the video. This was fun topic. Who knows when I'll do my next versus battle and if it's Fate related or not. I mean, I guess I could do Team Tsukihime versus Team Fate Stay Night, but oh boy, now that's a hell I'd be walking to. Who knows? Shout out to the guys at Fate Wikia keeping Marshu's Wikia page in such a shitty condition. Seriously, even fucking Sanson has more in-depth page. Our girl deserves better. Anyway, before you head out, comment, like, subscribe, and stuff. I'm Marnik90. Bye-bye.